Live from the world's fastest paperclip, we welcome race fans one and all back to Martinsville, Virginia, where we get set to go racing once again here in what should be an absolutely phenomenal race of the OSMRL Xfinity Series here tonight for the Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours 200. Hello one and all, and welcome to Green Flag TV. My name is Lola Wemple. Tonight I'll be bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from start to finish of the world's fastest paperclip here, at least over in North America. It is 1/2 mile around the Martinsville Speedway, and 200 laps makes up the first race of the crank-off here tonight. And of course, drivers are going to no doubt be under a lot of pressure to see if they can't get themselves with a good chance of starting off their championship hopes strong after a good old points reset. Todd Cray, the rookie, has taken the top of the boards with the lead over in the crank points. He sits 3 points up for Logan Hamilton. Michael Kenner sitting 2 back from him with 2006. Also included over in the crank-off tonight are going to be Spencer Ray, Clark Hennigan, Grant Peterson, Michael DeWalt, Sean Kaiser, Robert Peterson, and Hunter Thrower, rounding out a 10-car playoff field with Anthony Musatti still leading the way in the points with the drivers that were not able to make it in. He sits 3 points up from the likes of Kyle Munson. It's going to be one exciting race then here tonight as these drivers are locked and loaded and they are ready to go to war here tonight. It's going to be no doubt a race of attrition, and it's going to be a race that will be seeing some tempers flare, and I would expect absolutely nothing less from these drivers here tonight. Qualifying well and truly underway. Michael Kenner, seeing if he can put himself up over in that 4th position as it stands. He's going to put himself up 4th quick on the board so far for the driver out of Beechwood, New Jersey, coming on down into turn numbers 3 and 4 for his second qualifying lap here in this one. And when it comes to the conclusion of that second lap, it will not be any improvement. It'll be, in fact, a 1 step down. He'll be sitting in P number 5. Looking back to the likes here of Colby Wells. He's coming around off of turn number 4, ending his first lap as qualifying just flies through here at the Martinsville Speedway. He's going to be good enough for P8. Of course, this is TI Racing's home race here tonight as the Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours Company sponsoring tonight's event, as Wells going to dive it down into 3 and 4. The driver, formerly thought to be a defending champion, not so much, as he'll come across the start-finish line as he did not make it over into the crank-off, and it will stay 8th quick for Colby Wells at the end of his laps. I'll be right on board there with Michael DeWalt, who will show us what a qualified effort of the Martinsville Speedway looks like. Well, not the way that the Illinois native wanted to have his second effort in qualifying go, as that little half spin down in the turn 3 going to invalidate his second lap. We check in on Spencer Ray, sending it up into turn numbers 3 and 4. Coming to the conclusion of his first lap, he'll come across start finish this time through. And for Spencer Ray, it is going to be 8th quick on the boards. For Ray, he'll bump Wells down to 9th. The driver to Sebring, Florida, going to try to get something going here down to the 3 and 4 on his second lap. Try to see if he can't put something together as he'll come across off that final quarter and across the start-finish stretch, and it will be good enough for pole. So Spencer Ray rode himself up onto provisional pole here from the Martinsville Speedway, and that's a good effort for him. We'll look back now on Kyle Green making another return to the series, as he's going to be, and how about that? He's going to go up to the top of the boards immediately for Kyle Green, as he's going to only put down 1 lap. Not even going to bother trying to go for a second one. You do it right the first time, you have no need to try to go for it a second time. Hunter Thrower currently sits 4th fastest. Coming to the conclusion of his second lap, and it is not going to be an improvement. He will stay 4th. Down in the turn number 3. That's going to about do it for qualifying, as that's all the drivers that are on track that have the ability to go for times, as we'll just now wait for the last bits of qualifying here to shake on up. But I have to say, again, what a time it has been. I mean, this has been one heck of a season so far. These guys have been able to put on, and it is about to get shall we say, physical out here over in Virginia as these guys get set to go racing by the Martinsville Speedway. The last time through, as I've been informed, it it could have gone less than well, I think kind of the general consensus. But I think overall we should be in for a good race here tonight, as these guys are going to be looking to try to put themselves up and see if they can't give us a good showing here tonight. We'll round out qualifying here as the last of the seconds here will tick on away from your 5-minute qualifying session. And with that, it's about high time to take a rundown to show you what your starting grid is going to be looking for as we get set to go racing for 200 laps here tonight. It is Kyle Green up on pole position with Spencer Ray beside him up on the front row for All-American Motorsports. Clark Gannigan for East Coast Esports going to be started off in third with Hunter Thrower starting beside him on row number 2. Row 3 holds Logan Hamilton and Barra Morton sitting in 5th and 6th. Grant Peterson and Nate Brody are going to be back in 7th and 8th. Lucas Lyons and current points leader for both the Rookie of the Season as well as the main contender here for the championship as it stands, Todd Cray starting in 10th. Michael Kenner going to be 11th with Sean Kaiser back in 12th. Moving on down to 13th, you got Colby Wells and Michael DeWalt. Jacob Noyes in 15th for Consistency Racing with Matt Rucci's Badger Racing number 88 starting in 16th place. He's the first driver not to put down a qualifying lap. Robert Peterson and Stephen Purcell will be the final 2 drivers to close things out here tonight from the Martinsville Speedway on your 18-car grid. Just about got all drivers lined up and ready to go as we'll be looking to get things rolling here relatively quickly. Just waiting on Cray and Morton to grid on up now before we can get tonight's proceedings officially underway. And I have to thank everybody once again for taking the time to join us here on Green Flag TV. And what a race, what a season so far that this has been. And I'm expecting that this one will again be just like the others, full of non-stop action right down flag to flag, and we're going to be in for one barn burner of a finish. We've seen a few wild finishes, and if there's ever a track that can produce some crazy ones, Martinsville Speedway going to definitely be that circuit, as the pace car going to get set to lead this field off as the last of the drivers have fully gridded on up, and we'll get set to go racing for our first of 2 pace laps here tonight, a total of 1 mile before we go racing. Of course, Kyle Green up on that pole position, going to be looking set to try to see if he can rocket away for this field down to the turn number 1. And I think once you can, if you can get out a couple of car lengths in this opening lap here in the opening salvo, you should be able to get yourself with a fairly decent run going forward. Of course, that's going to be at least what these drivers are going to be hoping for, as we'll look set to see if we can't at least escape these. I would hope we go at least 20 laps here before we see our first yellow flag of the night. But obviously, Martinsville is Martinsville, and I have a feeling we could be seeing our first yellow flag come in a fair bit sooner than perhaps we might like to see. Kyle Green will lead the field down on the start-finish stretch with just 1 lap left to go before we go green flag racing. Pace car leading the grouping down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. It'll pull down into 3, but it's a long wait around before you can launch off of turn number 4. It is the first race of 5 in the OSMRL Xfinity Series playoffs here tonight. It's all coming to you live from Green Flag TV. Pace car pulls down and in. Thank you for joining us for your Tuesday night entertainment, as it will be Kyle Green leading the field through 3 and 4 and into the Guy Carissa zone on the front straightaway. Green flag up in the air. We're racing in Virginia. And, well, that didn't take long at all, as it is Nate Brody to be spun around to the tail end of the field. He will be the cause of our first yellow flag of the evening. Not the way Nate Brody wanted to start his race off. The Asheville Rooftop Bar Tour's number 1 car going to be sent down to the tail end of the field with a lot of damage up on the rear bumper. It is still Kyle Green to lead the way up in front. And we'll take a look back to see what happened here on this initial start as the field came off turn number 4. Like a bit of a stack up here, entering turn 1 from the outside line. Right there, throw doesn't go. That stacks Morton up into Brody and then just gets run over by Todd Gray entering turn number 1. Not a whole lot there that Craig could do in that situation, and that sees us under our first yellow flag of the night. Now, Nate Brody did not get that lucky he did not get the chance to get going before the pace car came out. He'll have to stay behind the safety car, and he'll be able to get waved around when we go 1 lap left to green. So that puts us under our first yellow flag here of the evening. Kyle Green managed to maintain that race lead in about the 5 or so seconds we had. And then, of course, you got Spencer Ray, Clark Gannigan, and more all tucked in behind. A few drivers making moves down to the pit road. You got Lucas Lyons, Matt Rucci, both coming on down and in for service. So you got some drivers that are looking to play the strategy game here on pit road early on. We'll look back to this incident, and particularly look back on board with Todd Cray here, the driver right behind this whole mess. You're going to see right there, I think actually spins the tires. Yeah, and then just runs over the one car. Not a whole lot. I think it's worth noting there, though, that Craig Caducenas, I think he also got a bit of help from behind in that mess as well. So it's one of those cases where there's a lot going on, and it could have gone better for a lot of drivers. Watch Sean Kai's right behind that 24 car. I think he did give a little bit of a helping hand there to the one to send him spinning around into the opening corner here in the Asheville Rooftop R12 200 at the Martinsville Speedway. So I think that will explain why it was such a difficult time for Cray to get that car woe down before running into Nate Brody. Good news for Brody, he is still on the lead lap, so while he can't get his damage fixed, he'll be able to at least get that lap back and rejoin with the rest of the leaders. But again, not the way we were hoping to have this race go. It was Robert Peterson driving straight through. So I think Peterson just wanted me to put back towards the tail end of this field as we'll come back around to the front straightaway here, and I reckon we'll go 1 to green this time by. And in fact, we will. Nate Brody gets waved around the iRacing safety car. And that will leave Kyle Green to be your race leader as you get set to come around through turn number 2 and down onto that back straightaway for the final time. Brody going to catch the tail end of the field. And Green going to lead us into turn numbers 3 and 4. Pace car down and in. Green flag, back up and in the air from Martinsville. Small lockup from Clark Gannigan. Kyle Green leads the first full lap to green as we hightail it off of turn number 4 and down that front straightaway into turn number 1. In a single file all the way back throughout this field until you get back to the likes of Michael Kenner side by side with Michael DeWalt. They're fighting it out for that final spot inside the top 10. Here comes Colby Wells trying to make a move. He's going to shoot to the inside of the 22 car, and Jacob Noyes in tow right behind them. So this field gets a single file out quickly, and again, Kenner trying to make moves early as he's diving down to the inside. And Kaiser gets the run of the 24 down the front straightaway, and he's through now to 9th. And Sean Kaiser might be looking to lose a couple of positions here as he tries to fend off Colby Wells down to 3 and 4. No dice. He'll track out behind them. Michael DeWalt under fire by Jacob Noyes, but Noyes going to maintain position in the number 34. Oh, but a bit loose through 1 and 2. Opens up the door for Lucas Lyons. Lyons going to shoot to the inside line as the 94 tracking up slightly from the bottom lane. Going to try to get up on alongside the 34. And a drag race now down the pit straight and into turn number 1. Can Lyons get the spot secured with Lyons here as we exit turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Yeah, not going to be so easy here as, again, Noyes looking to fight back on that top shelf. And now Noyes up into the outside wall, allow Nate Brody through. And here goes Matt Rucci. He's going to hunt for the inside. And now the HendrickCars.com 88 going to go through as well. And Noyes way up the track and then just trying to let these drivers go. Kenner still on the up and up. He's going to go to the inside of Todd Cray. And bump Cray back down to 9th as Kenner moves to 8th. Tell you what, Michael Kenner here is on the move as he's going to be on board with him now. The driver in that number 8 spot down into turn numbers 3 and 4. Trying to see if he can't close on up to the likes of Grant Peterson up the road, and just in front of them, you got Logan Hamilton, Hunter Thrower, and Bear Morton also trying to go nose to tail as Doe comes through turn numbers 1 and 2. A bit further down the road, Michael DeWalt under fire. He's going to lose out to Matt Rucci, maybe Robert Peterson as well. That's one of the hazards of Martinsville. You get stuck on that outside lane, you're liable to lose a ton of spots here. And Robert Peterson going to bump DeWalt all the way back down to 16th before he's able to get in line. Maybe if noise cuts will break, and he does. Kyle Green up front, still fending off the likes of Spencer Ray just behind as we dive back to turns 3 and 4. And now it's Ray to connect with that outside wall out for turn 4. We're going to be seeing a lot of that over the course of the night as Spencer Ray tries to hunt down that number 18 car for the race lead. For the back, how about Logan Hamilton? See if he can make a move on Hunter Thrower here down into turn number 3. Looking for the outside. They're trying to cut back in. What Hamilton's trying to do here is Hunter Thrower going to get loose. That opens up the door for Hamilton. He was trying to go high the low to set up a run, but he's not going to have to. Thrower messes up on corner exit like that again. They're going to go side by side for 4th down the back straightaway and into 3. Hamilton deep on the brakes as he'll try to secure the move of the 83 car down the pit straight. Kyle Green still leads. And Hamilton able to secure. Michael Kenner also getting by Grant Peterson for 7th. So Kenner now continuing to make moves up through the field. Around back through turn numbers 1 and 2. We look back to the likes of Todd Cray trying to hunt down Grant Peterson up the road, and just in front of them you can see a fight going on between Kenner and Morton for 6th. The spare Morton going to allow Michael Kenner through, and Todd Cray now starting to fall back some in this ever-present duel here for these top 10 positions. Meanwhile, good Nate Brody trying to make a move to the inside of Matt Rucci and get up another position after he got spun on the opening lap of this race, thinking probably no, and he's going to in fact get loose off of 4 and open up the door for Robert Peterson. Could have probably had a look down to 1, but opted against it. So Robert Peterson going to end up dropping back as we'll keep on with things here. We'll focus back up into that fight for 2nd as Spencer Ray and Clark Gennigan going to try to go side by side down to 3 and 4. Clark Gennigan going to try to push up in the fight for this 3rd position. So again, it is getting a bit hectic, a bit further back in the midfield, even with the likes around Todd Cray trying to make something happen on Grant Peterson in the fight for 8th. Hamilton scrapes the wall. It now becomes a case of where do you look. There are so many 2x2 battles as Kenner's still trying to make something happen on Hunter Thrower, and he'll look to go for the over-under like Hamilton did. Can't properly set up a run, though. I mean, that's the thing about passing Martinsville. You have to really set these guys up so many laps in advance, and it takes a few laps to get by them as well with how quick the lap times are here. You got to apply that pressure and maybe use a small bit of the chrome horn. As Michael Kenner tries to close up the back bumper. The driver out of Zebulon, North Carolina. And they're continuing to be on that charge as he'll run down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. As we start to lose time, some trouble for Nate Brody as he is falling way down the order now. So we'll get a look back at what happened here to Brody. As this is coming off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Oh, he's going to lose the back end and go head on into the outside wall, and he calls it quits right then and there. Nate Brody wanted nothing to do with this after he loses the back end. That's going to see the number 18 car drop all the way back to the 18th spot, and now 2 laps down. What a shame for Brody. He's had a bad start to the night, and that's going to take out one of the 3 TI Racing runners, the others being the likes of Logan Hamilton up here in this 4th position. A bit further down the road, got the likes of Colby Wells sitting way back in 11th spot and trying to get by Sean Kaiser and push to a top 10 position for the number 45 car. And now Kenner finally making the look on Hunter Thrower, diving to the inside to see if he can't secure a move down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4. Kenner still looking to make it happen, and he's going to get there. So Michael Kenner gets around Hunter Thrower for P5. And while that was going on, Matt Rucci had this to say is, oh, Sean Kaiser got loose, and hello, sent Lucas Lyons up and into the outside wall. So we nearly had our next yellow flag of the race right there. Well, that allows us to focus on up now on these fights for second on back. Kyle Green has built up a 1-second gap over Spencer Ray, and that gap continuing to grow as this race moves along. So Kyle Green looking like he wants to just walk away with the race here tonight. Trying to see if he can make a move on Clark Gannigan here, get around him for third. The Red Sim Design Supra in the way of the TI Racing Chevy. As again, throwing it for the inside, down to the 3. Not going to happen though, as we'll move down to this front stretch and down through 1 and 2. Now, how about Michael Kenner once again right on the tail end of Hamilton and trying to find a way to break through? Well, this is going on. Matt Rucci dives underneath Colby Wells and makes an easy pass for 10th place. And there's the look for the outside. Michael Kenner trying to go the long way around Logan Hamilton. Not going to happen. He's going to have to chop back for the low side. And again, no room, so Michael Kenner going to fall back to 4th as Hamilton hangs on to that 4th spot. Gannigan gets loose off of 4, and Hamilton, I think, might get scared wide as Kenner trying to throw it for the inside. It's just got to get Hamilton up that 1 lane, scare him wide. But Hamilton, a driver that is not easily intimidated, but you look at the gaps between these drivers, there's absolutely nothing in between them as they run down through turn numbers 3 and 4. This time, contact, a bit of an accordion effect there as Gannigan backed up into Hamilton, who backed up into Kenner. We almost go around. And again, Kenner starting to lean on the door of the number 12 car as we rocket down the front straightaway and into turn number 2. There's the bumper again. Kenner starting to use that chrome horn and put it to good use. Martinsville Speedway on the sim service takes a very similar approach to the likes of Bowman Gray. You can pass, but it's not usually going to be terribly pretty, and Michael Kenner starting to show the more physical side of the world's fastest paper clip as he'll hightail off the front straightaway. or the back straightaway, down through 3 and 4. Finally, though, looks like starting to drop back. It's going to let us focus up on this fight between Morton and Rucci, as Rucci secures an overtake on the number 9 car down through turns 1 and 2. Rucci now plus 7 positions and up to 9th. Oh, a bobble for Hamilton. Open up the door for Michael Kenner. Kenner goes with a lunge down the inside. That was the mistake that the 98 car needed. And now Hamilton looking like he's about to drop back as Kenner throwing it for the inside and on board with the number 12 car onto that front straightaway and leaning on him. And there goes Michael Kenner breezing through and up to 4th. That was a textbook Martinsville pass right there as the field rips down into 1 and 2, or 3 and 4. On what has been a very long green flag run, and a pleasant one at that. We have seen a whole lot of racing going on in the last 40 laps or so since we went back green. And now Michael Kenner, the bubble run worked on Hamilton, and he wants to get around Gennigan, and he shoves Gennigan up the racetrack, forcing the 27 to scramble. That lets Hamilton now get a run for the inside of the 98 car. So Hamilton back to the inside and might be looking to repay the favor as he's going to get into the door of Kenner off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Gennigan falling back to 5th as Hamilton going to tuck in line. That got ugly though as Kenner got up and into Gennigan there. And again, I have a feeling like these drivers are going to be showing some of those tempers here. But it looks like this fight going to separate for the time being. We check in on Matt Rucci and Todd Cray. As this is Rucci getting around Todd Cray, who looks like he had a bad run through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. This was about 3 laps ago when that took place. Cray just trying to send it into the kittycat.com number 21 Chevy, but he's not able to necessarily get the best exit. Right behind him, you got Morton and Wells. Scrapping for the last spot inside the top 10. .50 laps down and 150 to go. The battle's continuing to heat up. Underthrower using every inch of racetrack that he possibly can. As he tries to hunt down Clark Gennigan. Let's look over at the Rookie of the Season point standings here real quick while we got this little bit of a lull in the side-by-side action. Todd Cray entered this race 12 ahead of Michael DeWalt. Now, those point standings are not reset by the main points order that the playoffs are. It is a straight shot through. Again, Cray entered 12 ahead of DeWalt, but Cray down the order from Gennigan, so Clark Gennigan looking to close in with the lead. He's realistically the only other driver in contention for Rookie of the Season. He sits 24 points back from Todd Cray as it stands. So Clark Gennigan has a lot to lose at the moment here at the Martinsville Raceway, as he's going to try to see if he can hang on to whatever spots he can get and maybe pick up a few more. Of course, we are in the playoff season. You can identify which drivers are playoff drivers by taking a look at the little purple banners over on the splitter and the spoiler of these B-Class cars as yellow flag is out, and it is for Lucas Lyons, who is into pit road. So caution is out for the second time tonight on lap number 56, as we will await yellow flag pit stops here, and then we'll get back to you on what brought out this latest yellow flag. I'd be surprised if you didn't see a lot of drivers coming on down. It is worth noting that you still have that stage break that's yet to come about as well. Spencer Ray dives down into the lane, and Clark Gennigan going to be joining him. So a bold call to give up track position from that number 27 car. And that's about going to be it. Everybody else staying out on the racetrack. So this is what happened to Lucas Lyons. Jacob Noyes right behind him entering turn number 3. All looking good. And he's going to, clips the curbing on the outside, or the inside of the corner, and loops it off of 4. Simple mistake on that note. And, well, again, that is going to put us under our second yellow flag of the night. We're going to take a quick step back. You're watching the Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours 200 here from the Martinsville Raceway. We'll be back in just a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. We are still under our second yellow flag here of the evening. Kyle Green continues to lead the way from Michael Kenner, that has picked up second after we had some drivers come down into pit road, including Clark Gennigan. Stage break not set to come about for another 20 laps yet, so this is not going to be our stage break. We still have a bit of time left before we get to that point, but what a good race it has been so far, and we're looking set to continue as we go 1 to green. Pace car down and into pit road. We're going to go back to green flag racing as Kyle Green leads the field off of turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again at the paperclip down to turn number 1. Green pulling away. We're double file though throughout the field behind them. And how over a little bit of 3 wide. Spencer Ray to the inside. And that's going to send Morton around. Up into the outside wall. And the 9 Spearcrest Digital Chevrolet going for a spin. And Michael Kenner takes the race lead. We will first look at how Kenner took this race lead away from Kyle Green. Kyle Green got a good launch out of the gate, and you're going to watch here as Michael Kenner going to go for the lunge off of 2 and into 3. Now, Kenner's been pushing a lot in the early stages. He gets a good run off of turn 2, looks for the inside, and there was no contest. He's going to get through, and right about there gets through. This is about where that yellow flag comes out. So Michael Kenner just barely able to secure a race lead as our yellow flag came out. We'll now jump back and see what happened to Aaron Morton, as it was an incident involving Spencer Ray. You're going to watch as Ray goes 3 wide down the inside into turn numbers 3 and 4. And that's going to send Morton around and up towards the outside wall. We'll see if we can't jump a bit further back and get you a better view of all this one. I think this is going to be the best angle right here. He's going to watch here. Spencer Ray just gets a great drive off of that second corner. He lunges for the inside, and Todd Cray, unfortunately, nothing he can do. And Morton, I don't think, realized they were going to be 3 wide entering the corner, so he's just the innocent bystander in that deal, and he gets sent around. And luckily, manages to keep it up and out of the outside wall. So it was a good bit of driving there from Morton to lock that car down and keep it out of the outside fence. Third yellow flag of the evening here for the Martinsville Speedway, and it's going to be far from the last as well. And I think that move that we just saw by Spencer Ray was partially influenced on the fact that we are coming to the close of the stage here. In about 13 laps once we take that green flag. So he knows he's got to make these moves as soon as he can, or he's going to be in some big trouble points-wise here. You want to do well in the opening race of the chase, or it could very much set the tone. You want to be the one that's on defense the entire time, not the one that's having to be on offense all the way through. As we'll let this pace car roll us around through turn numbers 3 and 4. Michael Kenny, your control car, with our first lead change of the night as we'll enter the Geico restart zone. And once again, we're back to green. Off of 2, down the back straightaway, a bit of beating and banging going on deeper in the field, but Michael Kenner going to be the first driver that leads us back to green behind Clark Gannigan and Hunter Thrower. Seeing if they can make a couple of moves, and Gannigan going to get by the number 83 car for 6th down through turn numbers 1 and 2. Behind them, Peterson, Cray, Wells, and Noyes all under a blanket as they dive for 3 and 4. And trouble. Jacob Noyes spinning around. Caution is out again. Big hit to the wall for the 34 car, ripping the front clip off the Inconsistency Racing Chevrolet's front bumper. And we are now under caution flag number 4. Cautions breed cautions, and this is very much what is taking place here tonight. Might have had a bit of contact with the 45. We're going fully around. We'll ride on board with Jacob Noyes here and see if we can't figure out what transpired. He's got Colby Wells on his outside. Yeah, I think might have got a bit of a hip check, or might have hip checked the 45 even, and that fires the 34 down and into the inside wall. Well, with all of that said and done, we will see if we can potentially even get a word in here with the number 34 car of Jacob Noyes, who I think it's safe to say has seen bad a day so far for the number 34. He's currently sitting down in pit road. Jacob, you obviously got into Colby Wells in some way or shape or form coming off of turn number 4 there. What happened to bring out this latest yellow flag here from your end?
To be honest, that was 100% my own fault. I just gassed it up a little too hard while he was outside of me and spun it around. I didn't even notice any contact with him.
Well, there you go. So it was just the slightest of hip checks then for you and the number 34 car. Obviously, this is not the first incident you've been involved with. You're going to be finding yourself a lap down now as a result. What do you think you're going to have to do to get that 34 car back onto the lead lap and potentially able to score some points?
Well, considering how many yellows we've already got, I think getting back on the lead lap isn't going to be the big issue. It's just going to be a matter of protecting the car so there's something left at the end. Still got about 40 seconds of optional to get repaired, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Well, we'll let you go back to work down there. Good luck out there as we get set to end out stage number 2 here.
Thank you, Nolan.
Or stage number 1, I should say. We only have 2 stages. Stage 2 is the end of the race. Still under the yellow flag on lap 74 as it stands. Stage end should be at 80 if all goes to plan. That being said, if the caution comes out on lap 75, we could very, very easily find ourselves ending this stage early. Lights are out aboard the iRacing safety car. It'll be 5 laps to go in the opening stage tonight. As we're going to get set to see if we can actually make it through these latest 5 laps without another yellow flag. Pace car going to be down and in. Hamilton on the outside after Kyle Green falls to 3rd. The field stacking up off of 4. Green flag back in the air. Kenner clears with the lead down to turn number 1. Green trying to look for the inside of Rucci, see if he can't secure that 3rd place. But here comes the 88 car with the charge up around the high side with 5 to go. So far, so good. Spencer Ray thought about 3 wide down the inside. We saw the last time that happened, it didn't go too well. Rucci looking for the high shelf, and now Kyle Green trying to go over the inside of Matt Rucci again. Still fighting it out. Door to door. Down the front straightaway, and now Ray is going to go for 3 wide as Green backs out from Rucci. He sends the inside and Green in 2 deep. He's going to lose out to Gennigan and Cray and maybe Thrower and more as Kyle Green hemorrhaging positions as he falls down the running order and now up and almost into the outside wall. He falls back to 10th and he's going to in fact let the whole field go through here now. Meanwhile, Michael Kenner up at the front of the field leading the way. Logan Hamilton right behind him for that 2nd spot as we get set to take this racetrack for the final time before we end out stage number 1. On to lap 80. And more trouble behind as well, slamming into the inside wall. Caution is out. And give Michael Kenner the stage 1 win with Hamilton 2nd, Rucci 3rd, Ray, Gennigan, Cray, Thrower, Peterson, the other Peterson, and Kaiser to round it out. Michael Kenner takes their stage 1 win. We'll find out what happened to Colby Wells here as he was side by side with Hunter Thrower. Oh, and again, another hip check off of 4, and that sends the 45 slamming into the inside wall and sliding across the track. Meanwhile, here comes the field. Everybody down onto pit road that hasn't already pitted before. Ray, Gennigan, and Purcell all opting to stay out. Michael Kenner will be the first driver into his pit box. Four tires and fuel is a safe call, I'm willing to bet, as he's going to now leave pit road. So Kenner enters and leaves pit road as your stage 1 winner here tonight from the Martinsville Speedway. See if we can't get a quick word in here with your Stage 1 winner at the end of 80 laps of action. Michael Canada, this is Noel Rempel up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you take Stage 1. It ended a little bit prematurely, but you still take the 10 bonus points. That's a good way to start off the playoffs here at OSMRL.
Yeah, I think those 10 points are going to be big to end the year off. Now I'm really happy I got those because I just got speeding, so gonna have to come through the field and hopefully compete for the win, but not sure if that's gonna be possible with how hard it is to pass today.
Saw over 50 laps of green flag running in the opening run of the stage there, and then we got just a caution fest all the way up until the end of this one. But now that we don't have points to worry about until the end of this race in over 100 laps, you're not going to get another green flag run, or is it going to be one of those situations where caution will continue to breed more cautions?
I mean, I have no clue because we had a caution, we had a few cautions to start off there, and then we went green, and then we had a caution and started wrecking again, so it really could go either way here. Depending on what my penalty is, I might have a drive-through. If it's only a drop to the end, then I hope it goes green to the end, maybe a caution in the middle there, but yeah. Hopefully it goes green either way though.
Well, it looks like lights are going out aboard the R safety car. We'll let you go back to work. Good luck out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Was Michael Canada, the driver out of Beechwood, New Jersey. As he mentioned, end of the longest line penalty for speeding in the pits. He'll be relegated back to that 12th position. Meanwhile, Spencer Ray going to be leading the field around through 3 and 4. It's the RC safety car going to pull down and into the lane. Coming around into the guide car restart zone. Green flag going to fly once again. We're underway for stage 2, and getting it already up into the outside wall as he spins the tires. Stephen Russell and Todd Craig going to bang doors as they'll rocket off of turn number 2 and down to the back straightaway. Here comes Grant Peterson looking for the inside. Remember, Purcell was one of the 3 drivers that stayed out under this latest period of yellow flags here, and now starting to suffer, I think, on old rubber as a result. Sean Kaiser going to accordion up here as, oh, hello, Kobe Wells. I thought almost went around again. There was a lot of smoke, and I thought he saw the 45 car get hooked sideways. We're still almost wrecking, and now we are wrecking. As Kaiser gets beaten around, we're 3 wide off of turn 4, and now we're wrecking fully. Oh, big crash! 2 cars up and over against the inside wall. Wells and Thrower on an almighty wreck down across start finish. That was a really long wreck that took to develop there, and we'll look back on all of this from lap 86. As this, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's watch it. This is from a couple laps prior. A tremendous ride, though, for Wells and Thrower. We're going to watch they come around through 1 and 2. I think this is where it starts, this time by on lap 87. Maybe not quite. Might have been on 88 then when this all gets kicked off here as Wells right behind Robert Peterson. You can see them already trying to bang doors, or bang bumpers, I guess I should say, as Morton got in the back of Sean Kaiser. Right there, Sean Kaiser goes to the outside. Wells gets into him. Oh, and it was Wells that almost went around. That stacked him up into Hunter Thrower. Thrower then went for the inside. They hip check again. There goes Sean Kaiser almost going around, and then Wells and Thrower just hit again, and my goodness, that is a tremendous wreck. Talk about going out in spectacular fashion on the front straightaway as, hang on, this is going to be a wild look into the inside wall, and look at that. Have you ever seen such a sight at the Martinsville Speedway. That's a first for me, as Wells got kicked up on his side. Throw went flying, and Rucci left with nowhere to go as he clobbered Wells, who spun down across the racetrack and clipped out Lucas Lyons as well. Caution is out yet again for what is now the 6th time in the Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours 200. Oh boy. We're going to take another quick jump back. When we return, we'll be over for the restart, just shy of halfway from the Martinsville Speedway. Coming down to turn numbers 3 and 4, Spencer Ray still with the lead. Logan Hamilton lining up beside him on the outside row. Cray and Gennigan, 2 rivals for Rookie of the Season, lining up alongside each other as the green flag going to come out once again. And we're back underway for the paperclip. Still seeing if we can get another good green flag run like we saw early on. It's all usually fine for the opening lap. It's the laps that follow where it tends to get crazy. He's already starting to see some of that accordion effect, and almost 3 wide. Kenner tried to look for the inside, thought better of it. It's Morton and Peterson going to go side by side through 1 and 2. Looking back for the inside now as Morton clips the outside wall as Matt Rucci. Is Kenner going to break through? And it's going to be again side by side. Rucci to the inside. As well, Kenner starting to slowly advance back to this field. He got caught for speeding under the stage break. And he just fought his way back up into 7th. For Spencer Ray, he continues to lead from Logan Hamilton, who's trying to hunt him down on lap 99. Still just shy of the halfway mark. And we'll count that lap counter back over to triple digits as again, Kenner going to pick up another spot, moves to 6th. As Purcell falls back to 7th. And Colby Wells with more trouble off of turn number 4, and I'm willing to bet. Oh, never mind, just pull to the side to let these guys through. Thought for a second maybe, oh, hello. And he's gonna pull down and call it quits. TI Racing falls from 3 to 2 to 1. Logan Hamilton, the lone torch carrier now for TI Racing and Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours. The Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours 200. At the Martinsville Speedway, trying to hound Spencer Ray as we've passed halfway. Further back, Kenner you saw trying to make a look around Peterson. Ended up going in too deep. He'll now reset for a move to 1, but again, got to already be alongside. You can't realistically try to go for a dive bomb like that. Well, and if you can't get through him cleanly, you can get through him the hard way, as he's going to now give that back bumper to Peterson, but stacks himself up. Here comes Rucci. Rucci fighting back to the inside, trying to get around the 98, but he falters on the entry that bounces off the curbing. And that will push Matt Rucci down and out. As meanwhile up front, Logan Hamilton alongside Spencer Ray, and Hamilton through for the race lead. We have another different leader on the night as Logan Hamilton moving to the front. It happened in 3 and 4. Ray just got up too wide, and Hamilton said, see you later. The midfield battles, though, still going nowhere. As Kenner still trying to see if he can't set something up. And this time will go for a lunge up the inside of Grant Peterson. And a bobble from Peterson will give Kenner the run he needs to secure 5th. Behind, Morton gets around Purcell for 8th, and here comes Robert Peterson trying to go for 9th as well. Peterson gets through on Purcell, as that's going to push the number 57 car down to 10th, and now Thrower wants to see if he can't try to make a look, and in fact, Thrower can't make a look. He's a lap down. He's just waiting for a caution to come out so we can get back onto the lead lap. Jacob Noyes would be the next driver back in 11th. Further up the road, Matt Rucci continuing his quiet advance of the field, now plus 10 on the day. For Rucci, as he'll pick off Grant Peterson. Meanwhile, Spencer Ray has to start looking in those mirrors as Hamilton's driving away for the race lead. Here comes Todd Cray, trying to make a hole. Now this fight started to spread apart as well as we continue to tick closer and closer to the end of this race. Well into that second half now, and it looks like we're finally going to be getting another good green flag run. You have one caution on the opening lap of this race, then from lap 6 to about almost lap 60, we went over 50 laps green. And then we got a big caution fest right around that stage 1 conclusion, the stage 2 start, but now these guys are breaking apart, and we might be able to walk something out again. Purcell and Noyes looking like they want to battle it out now as Jacob Noyes looks for the inside. No front clip would be concerned at a lot of tracks, but that's just business as usual when you get down to a short track like this, where aero matters not. There's a bobble, and Purcell breaks early, gives Noyes the run that he needs to pick up a top 10. We talk about Michael Kenner, your stage 1 winner. Still on that recovery drive. He got slapped with a speeding penalty under the stage 1 break. He's looking like he wants to make a move on the Red Sim Design Camry. Making that look for the inside line, and Kenner gets through. Clark Hennigan forced to relegate himself back to the 5th spot now. Will he try to fight back against Kenner now is going to be the big question. Looks like he won't be able to, though, as already Michael Kenner started to stretch his legs. We talk about all these lead lap battles as well. There is one going on further down the field here, though. I should say there was one going further on down the field, as that's my timing screen's just acting up as we don't have any battles going further down the field. I don't know why my timing software thinks that Wells and Kaiser are 0.3 of a second apart when they're both in pit road and a good 6 laps apart, but I don't do coding. I'll leave that to the professionals. At the moment, you've got Ray and Kenner. Sorry, Ray and Cray in a bit of a fight. Gannigan, Rucci, and Kenner are in a bit of a blanket of their own, and more trouble for Lucas Lyons, who's now going to make a trip to pit road. A 94 car having problems into turn 1, loses to Michael DeWalt, though that was not for position. Oh, loops it off of 2, and he's going to keep it off the inside wall, but take the tow before a yellow flag can come out. Todd Cray starting to get a bit more feisty with Spencer Ray here. The 21 car wants to go. You can see Logan Hamilton starting to stretch his legs, and I think Ray might be holding that 21 car up a little bit here. As we carry through 1 and 2. Oh, and more trouble behind. Clark Gannigan going around, and the yellow flag is out. So Gannigan brings out the yellow on 123. And fight with Matt Rucci. Was a nose-to-tail contact. Did Rucci get a bit aggressive here? Oh, he did. Tried to go for the lunge. It didn't happen, and that sends Gannigan around and kind of glancing off that inside wall. On board with Matt Rucci, right behind Gannigan when all this goes down. A little bit of a hip check there, and around he goes. Rucci going to say thank you very much. Everybody, meanwhile, coming on down to pit road. Saver underthrower, who I think will stay out to get a lap back. Lucas Lyons making a return to the racetrack. As one by one drivers file into their pit stalls here, and we'll continue to eagerly wait on who's going to be the leader as we reach the exit pit road. It'll still be Hamilton. Hamilton first in, first out. He wins the race off pit road, and here comes the rest of the field. Good move for Logan Hamilton. Come on down to pit road, get some fresh Goodyears on, and now you're going to be the one leading this race. We're going to continue to eagerly await here, see what's going to end up taking place here at the end of this one. We'll talk to some of the drivers a bit further down the field. How about we bring up the likes of Stefan Brissell? We'll see what some of the guys further back are thinking of this race so far. Stefan, this is Nolan Rempel up here at the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
What's up, man?
Well, I will say that was a good green flag run we had there, and obviously you were more on the back foot throughout all of that. You were one of the few drivers that did not come down to pit under the stage yellow. What was the strategy call behind that?
Oh, I pit like 5 laps before that.
Oh, well, there you go. Was the 5 laps of tires that really that big of a difference then?
No, I'm just trying to stay out of everybody's way. I'm just trying to keep, I have a 0X right now, so I'm trying to keep that going.
Well, there you go, you'll try to keep that streak going as it stands. Obviously, you sit 13th as it stands. Do you plan to see if you can't go for some more positions here? Do you think we'll be getting any more yellows that'll give you some free spots?
I can see maybe 1 or 2 more yellows, but I'm not going to hold my breath because there's not that many cars left out here.
Well, we'll let you get back down to work out there. Good luck as we get set to go back racing.
Thank you.
Steph Russell started this race back in the 18th position, stone dead last. He's up now to 11th After a few more drivers coming down to pit road, that'll leave Logan Hamilton, the race leader, with Cray beside him. Ray and Kenner sailing row number 2. Pace car will peel off and into pit road. As we will rack them, stack them, do it all over again. Green flag back in the air. Hamilton breaking away early as Spencer Ray looks for the inside. He will clear for the number 6 car. Todd Cray under fire by Michael Kenner. Up on the top shelf. And now Cray going to be slipping back to 4th as Kenner finally puts himself back up onto a podium. This was what Michael Kenner was hoping for this latest yellow flags. It's allowed him to now be able to catch right back up to the leaders. And it's reignited a lot of these midfield packs here, like this one between Peterson, Morton, and Gennigan, that were starting to die off towards the end of that green flag run there. As Peterson of the High Rock Supra starting to drop back a few more positions as he's now at risk of losing to Clark Gennigan here. They're side by side down for turn 1. And it will be a position lost then for the 52 as Robert Peterson tucks in behind for 9th. And we're going to be smooth sailing back down into turn number 1. As we continue to work our way deeper into this race, we'll let you take a look in, listen in, I should say, for the sights and sounds of the Martinsville Speedway for the Asheville Rooftop Barn Tours 200. Kenner's been steadily closing in on Todd Gray for the last little while here, and he's been really applying the pressure to the All-American Motorsports number 6 OSMRL Supra, trying to look for see if he can get around that second position. This is where he's going to really kind of, I think, stall out, though. He's been able to pick these guys off further back in the field, but when you look at everybody that's been making moves up front, hasn't been nearly so easy. You also got this fight between Purcell and DeWalt that's just going to come to a head as Purcell gets through into DeWalt. That was for 11th, and that leaves this the closest battle at the moment on track between any two cars. As Kenner trying to see if he can't establish a run on the 6 and make a move into one of these hairpins. It's an issue, though, of, again, we talked about it before at the very start of this race. It's so hard to make a pass, and you have to really set him up. You have to take a few laps to set him up. You have to take another few laps to make the pass and then try to pull away from him. And the fact is, at Ken at the moment, it looks like he's kind of going all out in the early run, and it's kind of hurting his ability to do battle him here in the long run. Ray's just wearing Kenner down, forcing him to burn up all his stuff by trying to make these moves, and it's allowing for Kenner to stay in third place, yes, but potentially not for very long if those tires start to fall away. Genniken and Morton alongside into 3. Morton going to clear in between him and Peterson for 7th as Clark Genniken moves up another place and takes over the 6th spot. Jump back up to Kenner and Ray. As once again, a bit of a bobble there for Spencer Ray that last time through off of 4, but Kenner able to hold with him. We got 50 laps to go. Time slowly starting to run out as we work deeper into our race for the Martinsville Speedway. Kenner again looking for the move. They're now going to catch up to Lucas Lyons. And will we see a nudge this time by? I think we just did. As Kenner gets up behind Spencer Ray and tries to move him out of the way in 1 and 2. It didn't work, though. Ray standing his ground. Into the outside wall. Here's the move to the inside. And Kenner finally makes the pass on Spencer Ray for 2nd. Kenner starting to pull away already for that 2nd spot and trying to run down Logan Hamilton. Here comes Todd Cray. Can Cray push his way onto a podium? Further back, Peterson and the two Petersons trying to fight it out with each other as Lucas Lyons again falls back. He is 7 laps down as it stands. And Robert Peterson's throwing it for the lunge. He's going to drift out wide and nearly lose the back end entirely. Even further down the pack, Purcell and Thrower are getting into a bit of a topsy-turvy fight. This is for 10th. So final spot up for grabs inside the top 10 is Stephen Purcell trying to move under Thrower, and he's going to wreck under Thrower. Thrower up into the outside wall. Caution is out on 157. And Logan Hamilton going to sweep through on that one, and Thrower's going to lose a lap because of that. Unable to get going, unable to find a hole. That was not pretty in the slightest. And Stephen Purcell cleaned Thrower's clock down in the turn 1. Yeah, just ran him over and sending Thrower up and into the outside wall. We'll get one more look on board with Purcell here as he tried to make the move up the inside into 3. Sends it in, tag, and around. Meanwhile, yellow flag pit stops underway. Robert Peterson, Stephen Purcell, and Jacob Noyes, though, all opting to stay out. Spencer Ray, the first driver, or Logan Hamilton was the driver to lead us in. He'll be the first driver to lead us off. And how about Baron Morton? 9 seconds in the box. So a 2-tire strategy for the number 9 Spearcrest Digital Machine. Going to put himself onto the front row. And that's fairly big as well. That is a bold strategy for Baron Morton. I want to see if we can't try to get a hold of Morton in the All-American Motorsports number 9, and we will see if we can't pull up the number 9 car here. Barrett, this is Old Rebel here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Well, I'm assuming it's 2 tires. That's the only thing I can explain. The 9-second stop. What's the strategy on pit row when everybody else is taking 4?
Yeah, I practiced taking 2 tires in practice, and it was fine. So, kind of helps the car rotate, and I'm expecting guys to be way more aggressive, which could be bad for me. But I have nothing to lose, man. I'm not in the chase. I'm just out here to have fun.
Do you reckon you'll be able to throw up a match for Logan Hamilton and potentially walk out of here with a race win?
I can hope, but I'm not real confident about it.
Well, hopefully it'll be, all things considered, a good run for you as we get set to go racing here in this one. We'll let you get back down to work. Good luck out there. Hopefully this strategy pays off.
Yeah, I hope so, too.
Spend more to the driver out of Louisville, Kentucky. The only driver in the field to take a 2-tire stop on this one. Everybody else took 4. We'll see if that will pay off here, I guess, in a few moments on the restart. I always like a good strategy game to kind of throw wrenches into the works. It makes it fun, right? I mean, it makes it a really fun race for us to be able to analyze these strategies and just eagerly wait in anticipation to see if they're going to send these guys in front or if they're going to crash and burn as a result. Pace car's off. We're back underway. Good getaway for Logan Hamilton. He's going to be hit from behind by Michael Kenner. Kenner trying to go for the race lead early on. It is aggressive at the moment as we hightail it down in towards turn number 3. Kenner making the look for Hamilton up the inside into the 3 and 4. Can Hamilton hang on? Thrower's back down to pit road. Believe a penalty on one of the restarts for Thrower. And Hamilton able to keep Kenner at bay. Oh, and Martin goes around, and he's going to be tipped up into the field. And no caution? Really? No caution? There we go. Okay, real late on that one. That is unreasonable how late that yellow flag came out for that mess. As Baron Morton gets spun around. So it's a strategy that looks like perhaps maybe it didn't pay off so much. Here's the look down into, just got tagged by Rucci, and that's what spun him around right into the pack. We got guys like DeWalt that ran in as well, so I think that's just a case of Rucci getting a bit over aggressive as he just goes full send, and around went Morton in the middle of the field. There was a fair number of drivers that got collected in this as a result. We'll check in one more time from the air. You see as Rucci gets into Morton there. Now watch as Cray gets a big piece of this. Peterson, I think, got a hip check. Jacob Noyes, how about Noyes? Just able to scramble down and avoid the madhouse in the middle of the pack. Comes through too, and here's the smoke. Just mosey onto the inside and slip through without a second thought. Well, we are back under the yellow flag once more. This time it is going to be, I believe, number 9 on the evening. Close to double digits, but not there yet. As we will... We're going to go green this time, or are we going to go one more under caution here? We're going to go one more. And with that, we're going to take a quick step away. You're watching the Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours 200 for the Martinsville Speedway and the OSMRL Xfinity Series. We'll be back in a sec.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Coming back to green as we exit turn number 4. Green flag back in the air as Hamilton takes us down to turn number 1. Once again, Michael Kenner trying to hang around the outside. Spencer Ray going to be right up there with him, fighting down for second place, so Hamilton drives into the distance. Locking up big time down in the turn number 3. Todd Cray trying to make a move down on Rucci into 1 and 2 as we take 30 laps to go. 21 and the 88 going to continue to be side by side as we rock down to the corner. Contact between the pairing. Rucci up, it I think scrapes the outside wall of a 4. Cray pinched him in down the front straightaway. Matt Rucci hanging tough around that high side. Trying to hang on to his top 5, but as Cray gets through, here comes Grant Peterson. Looking for the inside for 6th, and that's going to allow Peterson now to get through. Potentially at least, as Rucci again still fighting that high lane, but there's nothing he can do on the corner exit here. I talked about it before, you lose one, you're bound to lose a couple, as here comes Clark Gannigan trying to follow suit as well. Oh, there's the nudge as Gannigan gets in Rucci once, twice, 3, and he's going to finish him off in 4. Caution is out yet again, and we're crashing up into the outside wall as well as Stephen Purcell, Bear Morton and co. all get collected. Watch as Gannigan goes for the move there. He locks it up, and then Gannigan gonna hit him once, and then finishes him off on corner exit. Here comes Purcell scrambling to the outside, and he's just gonna get into Baron Morton. I can't exactly pin that necessarily all on Purcell there. I mean, he's trying to avoid an accident, right? I mean, what are you gonna do in that situation? On board with Morton. Oh, it's Purcell there. Yeah, they just all kind of come together up against the outside wall, but this is going to be the big story here. I mean, yeah, he just runs him clean over, and that's not nice. That's not how you want to see a pass done. There's a difference between making a move and running somebody over, and that was very much just running somebody clean over. as Logan Hamilton will hang on with that race lead. We'll be going green with I think just over 20 laps remaining. What an up and down race this has been so far to kick off playoff season for the OSMRL Xfinity Series. And it's only going to get more intense the more we ramp up. I mean, if ever there's a place where you want to retaliate for something that happened here in Martinsville, Indianapolis Motor Speedway next week, the road course race. Turn 1, get it out of the way there. Opening corner on the first of 40 laps. We should be in for a bit of a calmer race at Darlington the week after on April 18th, where we've seen some, I'm hoping, some good throwback paint schemes. And then of all places, Talladega Super Speedway for the penultimate race of the season. A 56-lapper there around the biggest, baddest track on the NASCAR calendar over in Alabama. And we swing back to where it all began, over in Florida. For the Camerota Truck Parts 150 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Lights go out. It's set to go green flag race with 20 to go. Time starting to expire. We keep on keeping on. Pace car going to pull down and into pit road as Logan Hamilton going to lead the field around. Back onto the front straightaway. Green flag, we're back up in the air. Side by side, down the back straightaway we go. Peterson and Craig going to be alongside as we run down into the final couple of corners and back down to the front straightaway. They're going to get themselves sorted behind. Stefan Russell just barely able to hang on against Michael DeWalt as we race to the back straightaway. DeWalt, Morton, Rucci, all under a blanket. Oh, a bit of a loose moment there between DeWalt and the 88. As they're going to continue to scrap it out for spots in and around the top 10. Up front, Michael Kenner getting feisty again. He's right up alongside Spencer Ray, making the tie for second place down into turn number 1, and Kenner is through. Ray going to fall back to second, or third, I should say, as now Kenner has got one driver in his sights, and it's the one that I think has led the most laps today. Logan Hamilton, front of the field. Does Kenner have what it takes to reel in the number 12? "15 laps to go." As Gray and Peterson have still yet to settle their little squabble for fourth. And once again, follow the lockstep, follow the leader. From the paperclip. Who's going to try to pull out, though, and make a move? To the front straightaway, and Logan Hamilton still holding strong. And I don't don't think Kenner's been closing in, I think, as much as he might like. You can see a few hundreds gained here, and then a few hundreds lost there. I think overall, though, Hamilton might be pulling away. Now, how long does Spencer Ray sit behind Michael Kenner now is going to be the big ticket question before he starts to get a bit feisty and make a move to get second back. Oh, hello, Peterson, too deep into one. Open up the door for Todd Cray. Peterson pulls momentum from the outside, though, and ducks down in front of the 21 before Cray can establish a run into 3. 10 to go. Oh, Cray tried for the bump and run, but went in too hard, and now Clark Gannigan started to close up right behind. We got a good fight here between some of your rookie of the season contenders, Cray and Gannigan. Two drivers that have been do battling all season long for that title in their opening seasons. It's a title you'll only be able to get once. Got to go for it when it counts, and I can tell you right now, Todd Cray looking set to pull away with that points lead again. Ray sitting about a quarter second back from Kenner as we run down through turn numbers 3 and 4, down, or 1 and 2, down to the front, back. Wow, I'm all crossed up. Back straightaway into 3 and 4 and down to the front stretch. Closing in, 0.2 of a second. Spencer Ray has reeled the gap back down to Michael Kenner, but he's going to give it all up as he swings 2 wide in 1 and 2. 5 laps go, this time by the line. A caution now pushes us to overtime. Does Spencer Ray have what it takes to get around Michael Kenner for that second position on the racetrack? 6 and the 98 have been swapping back and forth for some time. I think Michael Kenner might just have what it takes to stay out in front, provided Ray doesn't go for a Hail Mary. Laps winding down. Lap traffic will not be a factor in how this finale plays out. As they'll shoot down the front straightaway with 2 to go. Can anybody catch Logan Hamilton in the front? It's over a second now. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get there as Kenner has been falling back. We'll come around through turn numbers 3 and 4 and pick up the white flag. Logan Hamilton with 1 to go. Took the lead early as teammates Nate Brody and Colby Wells threw in the towel. Hamilton stuck it out though. And he will go into 3 and 4 and take his Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours Chevrolet around through 3 and 4 and win the 200 from the Martinsville Raceway. Rucci's been taken out in turn 4. He'll throttle up as they cross the start-finish line while Matt Rucci spins it around in the final corner. Already had no back bumper, and he's just going to lose it all by his lonesome and get up and into the outside wall. For Logan Hamilton, though, he will burn it down on the front straightaway, winning the Rooftop Bar Tours 200 in a Rooftop Bar Tours car for TI Racing. What a race for Logan Hamilton, who's going to put up a smoke show on the front straightaway. And as he's going to burn it down, we will take a rundown of your official post-race results here from the Martinsville Speedway, where it was none other than Logan Hamilton to take a race win, with Michael Kenner back in that second position. Spencer Ray will pick up third, with Grant Peterson in fourth. Todd Cray will be rounding out the top five. Clark Hennigan in sixth, with Robert Peterson in seventh. Jacob Noyes eighth. Baron Morton and Michael DeWalt round out the top 10. Rucci starts it off in 11th, with Purcell, the last car on the lead lap, in 12th. From there you have Lucas Lyons, Hunter Thrower, Colby Wells, Sean Kaiser, Kyle Green, and Nate Brody to round out your 18-car field here tonight for the Martinsville Speedway. And again, what a race, as Hamilton gonna blow the motor up on the front straightaway to wrap out his smoke show up on the front straightaway. Again, what a race that we've had so far here tonight. We'll see if we can get in touch here with the number 12 car here, and Logan Hamilton going to join us up now in the broadcast booth. And my goodness, Logan, what a race it was for you, and I imagine this feels good to be winning the Rooftop Bar Tours 200 in the TI racing machinery there.
Heck yeah, man.
So why don't you walk us through what it was like for you over the course of the night? I mean, you obviously take home the checkered flag at the end of the day, and what was it like for you to be able to just kind of be able to set sail and walk away with this one late?
It was nice. It was definitely the one of the cleanest Martinsville races I've ever been a part of. So big props to all the drivers out there, keeping it clean. I was really worried. Last 10 laps, it was probably going to be a yellow, so I was just doing all I could to get to a white flag. So, yeah, just props to them. And on the restarts, it was really tough keeping Kenner behind. He was really quick on the short runs, but I was trying to tell Spencer when I was going to go so he could maybe get past him, and it worked on that last one. And then once we got to the longer run, I was able to kind of pull away a little bit.
Well, obviously, with this latest victory here, you're going to be in a good position when we get set to leave tonight. You were already only 3 points behind Todd Cray, and I believe this is going to put you up into the points lead now at the end of the night. Do you reckon you'll be able to make the run then for the OSMRL title?
I'm hoping so. I got a good track for me coming up next week at Indy Road Course, and then just going to have to try to survive Darlington and Dega, and then Homestead, I will admit, is probably my worst mile and a half. So we're going to have to work at that if I want to have a chance at winning the title, but you never know.
And, of course, you mentioned that you're a fan of the Indy Road Course here. It's the first time we're visiting it, though, here at OMSRL. Why don't you give us some insights on what we can expect, then, from next week?
I guess looks like it's a 40-lap race, stage on 15, so just the restarts are going to be pretty crazy, especially into turn 1. Probably be a lot of spins and stuff and people hitting each other in turn 1. But once you get through turn 1 of that track, it's pretty straightforward, just a lot of S's and stuff like that. So it's just about taking care of your rear tires, and if you can do that, just like any other road course, you'll be successful.
And obviously for you, it's been a good race here over the course of the night. Congratulations on that race win, and we can only wish you the best of luck as we get set to go racing at the world's racing capital.
Yes, sir. Thanks to the sponsor of this race, Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours. Thanks to Chris Lewis, TI Racing. Both my teammates had pretty rough races tonight, so they'll definitely be bouncing back next week, I'm sure. Nate's really good at road courses, and you never know with Colby. But yeah, thanks to the admins for putting on a good show, and thanks to you for broadcasting. I'm excited to watch it back.
I was looking at Hamilton, the driver out of Indian Trail, North Carolina, joining us up here from Victory Lane. We will move on down to our second place runner here. Michael Kenner for Kenner-Baker Racing takes the second place. And Michael, my goodness, you were able to just power through the field, but at the end of the day, you ended up having to fight it out with Spencer Ray for the second spot on the podium in those closing laps.
Yeah, I think the top 3 was so even that whoever was out front there was just going to win, because I don't know. In stage 1, I was able to pull away from Logan a little bit when we were racing for the stage, and then every time he got out, seemed like he was able to get away. I think it was going to be one of us 3 winning tonight. Maybe Matt if he was up there, but yeah, it was a pretty good race. I'm surprised I was able to get through the field as good as I was, but just lucky to be able to get P2 after the penalty. Almost threw my day away, and luckily I didn't.
You were one of the drivers that we saw using the chrome horn a fair bunch when it came down to getting overtakes done, especially right around the middle portion of the race here. Is that just a product of Martinsville about how difficult it is to have to try to force people into mistakes, that you almost have to get them to make the mistakes for them?
Yeah, earlier in the race, I was trying to see what I could do, see if I could make moves without bumping people, but it was just so hard. It took so long, and you really didn't have that time the longer the race went. I really also did not want to resort to giving the bumper, because in practice I was trying to do it, and it was not going well at all. I spun a few people.
And, of course, you're one of the drivers that for the second season in a row finds yourself over in the chase. This is a good points off for you as we get set to leave today. Do you think you'll be able to keep that momentum up when we come down to the Indy Road Course?
I think so. I like road course racing, and Indy Road is probably one of my favorite road courses to go to. I know Logan's pretty fast there, so he's going to be a tough one to beat. Hopefully I can just get a top 2 there and continue getting a good points day until Homestead. Homestead's where I feel like I have an advantage over Logan if it comes down to me and him. Last season, I don't think he was up front at all, or top 3 at least. So I think if I could just keep with the Logan until Homestead, I have a chance at winning the championship, but it's probably most likely not going to be just me and Logan. I'm sure Spencer will be in there, and Todd will definitely be there. He's been real fast this year.
Thank you for joining us up here tonight, Michael. Congratulations again on that second place finish, and we can only wish you then the best of luck as we get set to go right turns for one final time over at Indy.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Michael Kenner for Kenner Baker Racing in his Dr. Pepper Toyota Supra. We'll move on down to our final podium finisher here of the night. It is one Spencer Ray coming home third place. And Spencer, you were having one heck of a fight there over with Michael Kenner in those closing laps. Why don't you walk us through what that was like from your end there?
Just trying not to run him over. I got all my damage fixed at the end, and I was finally fast enough to keep up with them. Just riding it out at the end.
Of course, it was a race that saw a bit of everything. We saw the caution fest right around that stage break, a little bit in the middle, but there were some really good green flag runs as well. What do you think of this race overall? Would you call this a successful Martinsville race for yourself?
Well, I didn't wreck at all, so I'd say, yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, good news there for you then on that one. A track where we will hopefully not be seeing too many yellows, if any, will obviously be the Indianapolis Motor Speedway next week for the Indy Road Course. You're looking set to try to make a contention here for a title, obviously, this season. How do you think the Indy Road Course will play into your title hopes?
Not that great at road courses, so just don't go off the track like I did at Watkins Glen.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to keep it all 4 wheels on the black stuff this time, and we'll hopefully be seeing you again on the podium at the end of the night at the Indy Road Course. Obviously, want to give a big thanks for you for sticking around to be able to talk to us again after this race tonight. Congratulations on that third place, and we'll wish you the best of luck next week when we swing to Indiana.
All right.
Spencer Ray joining us up here from third place in the booth, and that's going to be about a wrap then for us here tonight. What a race it has been for us here from the OSMRL Xfinity Series over from the Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours 200 here from the Martinsville Speedway. When we return, we'll be swinging on out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the World Center of Racing, and it is going to be an absolutely phenomenal race as we get set to go at the Indy Road Course. Quite possibly one of my favorite road courses in the modern age. It'll be a fun race. We'll be getting set to see you all there for 100 miles. For now, though, from Martinsville, I've been Will Rempel. Thank you for joining us on Green Flag TV. You've been watching the OSMRL Xfinity Series from Martinsville, Virginia. We'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. Make sure to tune in to the TNGG IEL Truck Series with their season opener this Saturday at the Daytona International Speedway.